made it to another episode of the Pipe Dream Podcast. This is a show that reveals the real and raw of tradesmen's stories. We get the truth from those who support the people who do the work. We also take a deep dive with resilience experts and those who do the heavy lifting supporting the labor force. Listen for today's tale from the trench.
Hello, my brothers. This is Nick Gemmel, the Awakened Tradesman. And the topic of today's episode is Crack Me Up, Doc, a discussion with Lance McAfee. Sit back and relax and listen to today's tale from the trench. Hey, brother.
Nick, dude, good to see you, man.
I always
like watch your stuff. Just I like your smile, man. You just make me happy.
Man, I just love it when everybody, I had a few people like during the intro and they start laughing. I'm like, it's going to be a good time.
Oh, dude, hell yeah. I'm all about having a good time. You betcha.
So I guess to make it relevant with the listeners there,
Sure.
Who are you and why are you here?
Yeah. Well, my professional name is Dr. Lance McAfee. I get McAfee, and that's the thing. I've been called a lot of things in life. I'm Lance to a lot of kids that come in the office. I'm Dr. Lance to the other professionals, but Dr. McAfee, whatever. But I'm Lance. That's how I'll talk to you right now, Nick, because that's how I know you, right?
Yeah. Sweet.
So from day one, I'm a farm kid. I grew up in Lacombe, but both sides of my family come from just massive farms. So that's all I know is how to work with my hands. I had 2-3 jobs through high school. Really spoiled kid, but working was just a part of life. I did the morning milk, and then I went and plowed snow for plant services up at my academy that I went to school at in Lacombe. And I went to class, and I grinded that out, made mistakes, but also made a lot of good decisions too. Out of high school, I went down to the States. Got an opportunity there to play some hockey and some golf, which was cool. And the school came easy for me, so I got lots of scholarship money for that, which is pretty awesome. I still play lots of golf. Golf's a very big part of who I am. Hockey not so much. I've wrecked my foot pretty bad, on the quad and the dirt bike. So that's how I like to play. But through undergrad, you kind of decide what you want to do, whether it's medicine or dentistry or optometry and chiropractic, I guess. Mom and dad, I'm my father's son and my mom's little pistol through and through. My parents are still together. They still like each other, weirdos, so they're good role models in the life that I'm creating with Sarah, which is kind of fun,
Mm-hmm.
And I say my father's son because I am my dad. I just have a boatload of confidence in life, and just because of how I was raised, I was loved, man. I was loved. I'm still loved. I got a support team that's just huge. It carries me through life. And my dad, maybe he didn't have that same connection that that I had with my parents. So that's here nor there. Wanting to stay healthy has always been a part of my life. My mom taught me that. My mom taught me how to give. I'm a giver, and then I figured out that I'm actually a healer. I'm a healer with how I use my head, how I use my hands, and how I connect with people. And that's what led me into chiropractic. And so yeah, you get out of chiropractic school there, and with all this ambition. But I guess I was a little beat down too, just because you're in that system of that institutionalized way to learn. And I've always had an issue with authority when I think that the protocols are BS. I mean, I break rules when I think they're, it's appropriate way to be broken. But with that being said, I don't want people to think that I'm some sort of, lunatic in the sense that I'm trying to, shatter the protocols that keep us walking a fine line. But they don't teach how to run a practice in school. And so, I had an opportunity to work with a few guys in BC there as an associate. And I struggled, man. The doctor that I wanted to be, it wasn't being fulfilled there. And so life is crazy when you look for gifts, man. You look for emails that pop up and people that, share things with you. There's an opportunity to buy the building that I'm in right now and buy the practice from the previous chiropractor. And so I saw that on Tuesday and I got my, V-Dub Passat and I blasted back home to Alberta. And I went to mom and dad, I said, you guys, will you help me with this? And, my parents, of course, right? That's what good parents do. Right. So we went to the bank, and, the bank said, sure, dude. Yeah, we'll give you all this money. Go at it. And so, you think that, and that was in 2013, you think that like, you've got it made, man, like got the corporate card. I've got this huge line of credit, like, here we go. And then the reality sets in, of the struggle to connect with practice members, connect with people that you work with, and understanding that properly, understanding money, understanding the economy, all those things that just you don't get in school, and so there was times, man, where I just about wanted to burn this place down, wondering what is this even worth it? Because, I paid off this building and my student loans and the business loan in 7 years. And I'm very proud of that. But, when you're forking out the kind of money that I had to get here every month, it's like writing yourself a check and then burning it, because there's no instant gratification, right? You're not buying a Ferrari, you're not buying a boat. You're just, so being the age that I was, there was times, man, where you're weak and you wonder what in the hell you're doing. But you lean on people, my parents, and you lean on people that, support you. I had Dr. Don McDonald. I started coaching with him. And he's a big influence on my life to the person I am right now. And then you get small little victories, you get little victories, and then you get your mouth slapped a few times, and understanding that and growing and crying and laughing and, the whole works, right? And then
I'll just jump in because I think that's where, that it's crazy that it ties in. Like, you're a chiropractor, obviously, and we're oil patch workers or oil field workers, and we go through the same struggles where
sure we do, man.
You're not in that way where you go to school, you go to trade school, and then nobody teaches you how to deal with money. Nobody teaches you how to run a business. And most of us, that's what we do. We go in, okay, we learn our trade. We learn, okay, we're competent. Okay. And those of us with an entrepreneurial mindset, we want to do our own thing. So Then you go out. My first year, I got slapped with a $56,000 tax bill at the end. And I was like, what? Like, there was not $56,000 in the bank account. It was actually negative. It's like, okay, well, what's going to happen here? So,
sure.
So it's crazy, right? So when you talk about burning stuff to the ground, it took me like 17 years to be able to do that, actually. So I did pretty good in that aspect myself. But
sure.
I laugh about it now because I can. But 2 years ago, not a good time. So,
for sure.
So I appreciate the honesty with the struggles, man. And it just shows.
Yeah, and I because of those struggles and the hardship, I had to go back through a few different relationships my parents being the people, I went back to my parents to apologize to them. I can't imagine supporting someone through and through, and then you smack them on the mouth with the BS that I, gave them as far as I'm going to give up. I'm going to burn it because I don't care anymore. Mm-hmm. And, my parents would just smile at me and just, son, it'll be okay. It'll be okay. And it's so hard when you're in that mindset of being so broke in life, financially, emotionally, physically, man. You burn relationships with some of the things you say. So I had to go back and, rekindle and reconnect with my parents a little bit and just build back that trust and that connection that I smacked away with my actions. Mm-hmm. So, maybe I did it faster than some other people, but, I'm not wasting a moment in life anymore, man. Everything I do right now is very purposeful. Even like the things that I wear, the tattoos that I have, they mean something to me. They're important to me because, if my decisions, they match up to my 3 principles in life. And if they don't, I ain't doing it. That's how I live. And so I'm a very well-rounded person, but I make very square decisions. And that's only been, not that long. So I'm excited to see where this thing takes me. Right. My health and my self development or growth, whatever you want to say, is very important to me. And I'm excited to, take that with the knowledge and expertise to meet people like you, Nick, and just other people that are good at what they do, because I think people are amazing. People are doing some crazy things that it inspires me to just do better every day. And Sarah gives me a hard time because, that's what, spouses do, is they want to, help you and take care of you. But, I go so hard during the day, and I carry a lot of energy, but I also carry people's stress, man. I carry the weight on the world on my shoulders because I want to, but then I sleep hard, and then 4 o'clock, man, I'm up, and and I rise and I grind, dude, just like you do, man. I learned that from you, man. I saw you in the inner circle, and I listened to the speakers, I listened to, Ed and Melissa and the guest speakers, but dude, I had my eye on you just because you carry a presence and an aura about you that's just, it speaks to me, and you are the person that I want to, develop into, because I think you're so cool, man. I have so much respect for you.
No, I appreciate it. And it's hard to hear like that, taking stuff like that. I've never been able to. So like, sure. The hardest thing is. But
I love you, bro. I got only but love for you, bro.
Yeah. No, and that was a crazy weekend. And it's like we were talking on before we jumped on here, but but you find somebody that says something and you resonate with it. And I've never, up until 2 years ago, I've never had a mentor. I've never had, other than my dad, right? Like that's, someone that's always there. But as far as external, I was never had, right? And it bit me. It bit me living that way. But no one taught me that that's kind of the way that maybe you should reach out and you should look at it. Right? Yeah. Because people are doing amazing shit all the time. Like, look at the people in the inner circle that are doing crazy stuff. Right? And I'm not even a chiro. I'm not even a chiro. I'm like, what am I doing here? But I just got in there because of Ed's presence, and Ed speaks to me. So, like, it's the same, same but different. And
Ed, that whole crew of people, man, like just doing some unreal shit that I want to be a part of, man. I want to be a part of that inner circle for the rest of my life, and I don't care what it costs. And I mean, I don't invest money. I invest in myself, and I've always done that. I'm not into, I hear my dad losing hundreds of thousands of dollars in some dude that, promised them whatever, and I refuse to do it. So I keep investing in, Ed and Melissa and Jason and these people that are in the inner circle that are, dude, they support me and they encourage me. It's just so much fun to be a part of that group, dude.
Oh yeah, dude, watching you on like calls and stuff, you're bouncing, you're flying around. I don't know how you retain any information. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm a pretty, I mean, I don't know what to say, dude. I'm a gifted individual, so I just, but I do carry a lot of energy. But this is my lunch hour. I adjust from 9 till noon usually, and then I slow down. I usually pick up Sarah and we go for a drive. Either make lunch together, or go pick it up and just slow myself down. And then come 2 o'clock, I start raising it back up because I open that front door, dude, and I'm open to whoever's going to come into the office,
Yeah.
And I want to have that intensity and that excitement for life with everyone that comes to the office, because the world's so dark, man, and it's so easy to smile. So easy to smile and just give your time, and if you give and give and give, you start getting some pretty special gifts in life, man. It's unreal.
Yep. No, absolutely. Let's talk about some people that come through your door then. So we've talked about you. Let's talk about some people. So, we're in the oil and gas and construction. Is there a lot of that comes in? And what do you see from the people that come in like that?
Yeah, a lot of the, Sylvan Lake is a dream spot for a lot of people to live in, close to the lake, kind of that party town, carries a lot of excitement. So summertime is busy. And then a lot of the, guys that are in oil and gas, they just want to buy a home here so their family can do their thing, and then they can travel to wherever to do their thing, right? To work. But what the men don't see, and even the women that work away that, come in the office that are in oil and gas, pardon me, is just the detrimental destruction that happens to the family when they're gone. These guys and women, they miss out on a lot with the family. And I don't judge, man. You asked me a question, so I'm giving you the way I see it. Fair enough?
Oh, that's fair.
And, there are kids that come into the office, they think Dr. Lance is just like Superman, I want to be that masculine role model for these kids when their dad or mom, I guess, it is away making money to provide for them, right? So then, the 21 days ends or whatever, they're 1 week on or whatever, whatever it is, right? Whatever the rotation is, they come in, dude, and I got to open the door for them, They're beat and they're broken and they're just broken, on every level. And in my office, I talk a lot, and every chiropractor would. Any principled chiropractor is going to talk about the 3 main stresses in life. That's physical stress, chemical stress, and then emotional stress, and it's the narrative that's between your ears, man. It will cause low back pain. And I see it all the time. So a lot of these guys that want to come get their back cracked, I'll give them whatever they need, but I want to be able to change their heart on how they view their health. Because a lot of the guys that come in the office, when I can break them down into like, dude, what are you telling yourself throughout the day when you're gone? And, write that down, and you need to burn that, you need to let that shit go, because what you're doing is all it's the only thing you know how to do, and you're doing it well. It's having an understanding to be able to comprehend it, to communicate that to me, to your spouse, to your kids, because emotional subluxation, it will kill you. And I see it all the time. So a lot of the dudes that come in the office, man, I just spend time talking with them, just like I do with you, Nick.
Mm-hmm.
You know, helping them just like breathe, let them know that some practitioner, some doctor cares about them so fucking much. And I'll do whatever it takes to get them healthy so they can go back to their family and be present, connect, pack their bags, and go wherever they need to go to, you know, provide financially for their family. And helping them understand that is something that I really enjoy doing. You know, it's a big part of my practice, man. I come here to the office at 7:00 in the morning for some of these guys that work away because they got to leave to go up north by 11 or, 9 or 10, 11 o'clock. And I'm more than happy to, spend an hour with them and bullshit about whatever, dude. Like, you know, the conversation is the remedy, for a lot of these issues.
Yeah.
And I don't even want to say that, we were talking about before about people get stuck on, I will say it, I guess, mental health, and people are on mental health boards and associations. And it just drives me nuts because people carry these badges in life. They carry poor concentration and anxiety and, all these things, man, that just, these symptoms that they carry here, and then they medicate the shit out of it because that's all they know how to do, man. They go to their doctor, the real doctors. You're not a real doctor, Lance. You're just a chiropractor. I love that, dude. And with certain people, I joke about how I fully accept that comment because I don't want to be considered the third leading cause of death in North America. Medical mistake. That's what it is, man. Mm-hmm. For some people, that's a hard truth and a hard reality to hear. But if you just look at the stats, it's laid out there for you, man. But people only, people aren't stupid, man. I spend a lot of time feeling that way, getting frustrated with people, but people only know what they know. Therefore, they only do what they do. But now they know, right? And I say that lots that, say it all the time, though, it's, trying to lead by example. The guys come in and they struggle with their kids, not listening, and they're so connected to, this stupid thing, and it's tough, man. But then these dudes, they come home from working away and they want to party. They go to the stores and they fill up they get their poison of choice, whatever that is, and they self-medicate, and it disconnects them from their family, and that's got to stop, man. And I like to be able to adjust people with my hands. My hands are my tools, man. Just like you have other tools that you need to get the job done, but I need my hands and this thing up here to do it, and then a table or whatever, right? I do it in a chair. Because you need to be adjusted. You need to have your physical adjustment, and then people need to get their brain adjusted, So that's why I spend a lot of time dealing with people, and I'm happy to do it, man. Happy to. I hope that comes across as a very genuine, comment, because I love helping people. I do. It drives me. It drives me to create, to be original, to just wake up and be the person that I want to be.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and I love that statement and that way, that philosophy. But what is the reception, I guess, on the other side? I guess if people are coming back all the time, they're probably, more receptive, I guess. Yeah.
So, connecting, what's in office and clinic, or whatever people want to call it, to what's applicable to your life. People know how to, these dudes that come in the office, man, they show up in their, beautiful F-350. But they won't pay for care. They can't afford care, right? They can afford it. They just don't want to, right? And so people that pay, they pay attention. right? That's what sells. And I only go after the people that are paying me, man. Like that's just, I can't save everyone. So, I spend a lot of time thinking and focusing on just letting people come to me. You got to come to me. And if you show up, dude, I'll show up. But then I got other people that, they want to come in at 7:30 in the morning and they don't show up, and it hurts my feelings, man. Like it does. I cry over that shit because I was, you know, I wasn't beat as a kid, but my parents were, all I needed to hear was they were disappointed in me because I didn't show up. That's all I needed to hear to just smarten up. I did eat bars of soap, but that's, that was my raising. That's what my parents knew how to raise me. And Sarah and I are going to have a baby, our first child, which I'm just like, dude, the joy that I carry in my heart is just, I hope you can see it in my smile, man. I'm just so happy. But, the way that Sarah was raised and the way that I was raised, I want to be able to apply a lot of those things to my children, because I want to be the father and the spouse that I know I can be. I want to feel that potential where people will look up to me to be like, man, that dude has got it figured out as far as what it takes to be a family man. And everyone's got different things, man. Like I'm a family man through and through. I'm going to buy myself a 72 Chevy truck because that's the model that I put together as a kid. I'm not a Ferrari man. I like nice things, but I'm a family dude through and through.
Yeah.
Through and through.
Yeah, and that's where we find a lot of people struggling is they don't have that definition, right? And they don't have that definition of fulfillment on the other side. So being a family man is great, but you have to be able to know how to put those deposits in and be able to put in that time when you're gone to be able to draw those deposits and not just get messed up for your days off. And then
man, and a lot of the dudes that come in the office here that listen to me and I listen to them, we trust each other. They head up north or south or wherever they're going to their rig, whatever it is, and I help them focus on the idea of you got to heal yourself, man. You got to stop lying to yourself about the bullshit that people tell themselves and they carry, man. Who cares about the things that you did, man? Let that shit go. Like seriously, Ed talked about that ritual where, you write that shit down and you burn it and let it go. Because if you don't, it'll wreck your marriage. It'll wreck your connection with your kids. And I see it. So you have to heal yourself before you can start helping your spouse and your kids understand you as the father or the wife, whatever that you want to be. Because until you heal yourself, you ain't worth a damn thing to anyone,
Yeah. No, and this is probably one of the rawest conversations, and it's coming from a chiropractor. And I don't say that to downgrade it, but this is just the way that people perceive your labels, right? You're just a chiro. You can't talk like this. You can't be vulnerable like this. What the hell? I'm just a pipeliner. Are you kidding me? I'm just a welder. Guess what? Yeah. You're just a fucking person. And maybe just learn how to be yourself. And then you can put all of these practices into purpose and make a life that makes sense.
Absolutely, man. And sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, Nick.
Yeah, it's all good.
But, I guess that's where the trendy chiro comes in is, I've always liked dressing well. That's been a part of me since I was, kid, man. Trying to flex to all the girls, try to show off, which I think is fine if you do it in a proper way, which I think I did. My dad kept me in check. My mom kept me in check. I listened to them, paid attention to them. There's times where I didn't, but my parents knew that, there's something special about Lance where he had to break himself before he can actually grow and develop to the person that my parents knew that I was going to become, right? And that's where the trendy chiro, I want to show myself off as being well dressed, well presentable, But what's trendy, man, is being healthy, you know, through and through, physically, you know, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, sexually. I mean, all these things that just make us men, you know. What are the things that, you know, people are into? And that, I think that's what's trendy, dude. Like breaking this shit down to have this raw conversation is what is super trendy, and it's gonna spread. Like this podcast, dude. I mean, people want to hear the stuff that you and I talk about. I mean, I think so. And if they don't, then they don't have to listen. That's fine.
That's right. Dude, I do these things for me. I'm not gonna lie. I love this shit, and if it reaches one person, that's great. But guess what? I do this 100% for me, and I said that right from the start. So it's my therapy and it's my fun. So
sure. And dude, not a moment can, you know, be wasted, because I've got practice members that are taking their own life, and that stops, dude. It's got to stop because it hurts, man. I'm scared for people. I'm scared for families, man. It's no good. It's got to stop now, Nick. And we have to do that for people, because I'm tired of the fucking bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
It's so fun to smile and be kind. And the destruction that people carry in their heart, I'm not familiar with it. And I won't pretend that I know what that's like. I carry in my adjustment, I carry that stress for people. And I want them to lean on me. You know, I want men, women to come to me with their shit, and let's talk about it. Let's burn that shit and let it go and start living, because life is so fun, man. Like life is so fun if you just stop lying to yourself about the things that, you know, we lie to ourselves about, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I learned that from you, man. You talked about that. You talk about it all the time. And I don't know. Do you struggle with people listening to you, Nick?
If I can get them into a place like this, no. But to get them to a place like this, yes. Yeah. So it's just nobody. A lot of people. I don't say nobody, but a lot of people, they just don't want to let that go.
Right.
They don't want to let go of those stories. They don't want to, you know, like I said, with labels, right? Listen, I'm good. Like I have a good life, but when you look around, your bank account shit. You know, when was the last time you went on a date? Well, maybe three months ago we went on it. This is pre-COVID, right? But even in COVID, like figure your shit out, like connect in a good way, right? It's been like 3 months since I've been on a date. Oh, have you ever taken your kids on a one-on-one date? No. They're always together. Okay, well, those are just facts. Well, how do you feel about that?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Now that I think about it, I feel kind of shitty about it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
So sit in that. Like, quit running from it and just go into the back, back 40, going out to the garage. I'm going to work on something and just get fucked up. Right. So, yeah. But once people get into a room and they see that they're not alone, that's why we love the group aspect of it. 5 or 6 dudes talking about the same shit. And they're like, man, okay. Well, what's one thing you can do today to make it better?
Yeah. And I hope I'm not going on tangents here, but Eric Church, I listen to him all the time, dude. His music speaks to me. I love to sing. I love to play music. And I got this dude that comes to the office, man. He's got the mullet, man, and he's got the biggest smile I've ever seen. He used to be an operator, right? And now he's, Derek Hand, and he's the happiest dude because he's got a job, right? And when COVID was really hot and heavy, he got some sort of a plumbing job, man. And he talks about, I was cleaning shit and I was thanking the world, man, because I had a job. And those people, man, I want to hang out with those people because I just think they're awesome.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And he plays the piano. And so, that's we talk about that we want to play music together and just share that with people, because music is very powerful that way, isn't it?
Oh, no, 1,000%, man. And the other thing with that is the people that you hang around with are like, you look around and that's who you are. Like, if you're hanging around a bunch of thugs, guess what? You're a fucking thug, right? Like, you're hanging around dudes that beat their wives. Well, guess what? You probably do something to your wife that's pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
Right? That's just the way that it is. So maybe you should look around, see what you're doing, and get a better band of right?
For sure. A lot of all my buddies that are I grew up with, they're still in Lacombe, and they're just doing different things than I am, and there's a perception of who Lance is to them, and people make comments about what they think I do or I don't do, and I don't really hear that stuff. But what I do hear is some of the shit that these guys say about women on the golf course. And I refuse to play golf with those people, man. I don't want to be around that shit. I don't want to be around the guys that watch porn or follow, all these chicks on Instagram. Like, dude, that goes right into your subconscious. And it stops. And that's where, like, if you stop that shit through and through, the woman that you are involved with, she glows, man. She looks like Sarah to me, man. I just can't even believe her, man. Like, she is just drop dead, stunningly beautiful to me.
Yeah.
And I tell her that all the time, and she looks at me like, okay, Lance, like, whatever. You just say that to everyone, and that's how the brain works, right?
No, and it's funny that you said that, though, because my like, at the end of my marriage, if you were to look through my feed,
sure,
that's what it was. It was just tits and ass, and that's what it was. Well, are you going to be very respectful? Are you going to be? But that was me just disconnecting to the point where I did not care, right? And I didn't even realize I didn't even care, and that's the fucked up thing about the brain. So that's why we love checkpoints. We check in every week with ourselves. For
sure, dude. Right? Yeah.
In our program, and that's why we set it up the way that we do. So, no, man. No, it's a great conversation. I love it. And what other, is there something that you want to touch on before we leave that maybe we didn't touch on? Or
no, I mean, if you're not seeing a principled chiropractor, you're missing out on a big part of life. Having the very top of your spine adjusted is a must. It's just a must. If you got a spine, you need to see a principled chiropractor. And if you are too stubborn about the bullshit that you carry, at least send your kids my way. Let me take care of your kids, because at least they have a chance, man. If you got time, if you need time to take care of your own bullshit, if you want to lie to yourself a little bit longer, that's fine. That's on your time. But send me your kids. I want to take care of the people that can't speak for themselves. Mm-hmm. Because the detrimental shit that our kids are going through right now, it stops, and I want to help them out. And that's where, my next business adventure, it's about the kids. It's about women too. It's about taking care of our women and our kids. And I'd encourage you, all the listeners that follow Nick, man, like, just follow the dude. Listen to the things that he says. Pay attention to him. Buy his stuff. Support him. And get adjusted. Get adjusted physically. Adjust your attitude. Adjust your life. Get yourself centered. And go do some fucking amazing things in life. Whether it's oil and gas, or you're going back to school to be a chiropractor, or anything in between. Because if you don't, you're missing out on life. You're missing out. And I'd encourage you to dig deep into your heart and stop lying to yourself about the bullshit that you carry, because I did that and I stopped it, and it will fucking open up your entire world.
Yeah, man. No, I appreciate it. And great messages and great talk here today. And and where can everyone find you? I guess if they were looking for.
So that's where, do people have no idea who I like? this is where, the weekend, the inner circle that, I'm part of with you, Nick, is, so I'm talking to a copywriter and publisher and all these other things to have a look at what the trendy chiro is. But dude, you can go to my Instagram. That's my personal page. You can message me, man. Like Q&A is going to be what the trendy chiro is. So if you got, questions about anything, that is the trendy chiro. Yeah, that
Sweet.
easy. But even better, like come to Sylvan Lake, man. Come to the office. I'll show you what I do for a living. I'll show you where I hang out, where I don't hang out. I'm more than happy just to give you a hug and tell you that I love you and just share some hope and health and happiness.
Oh, sweet. I love the message, man. And I'm sure once you get your program fired up there, we'll get you back on and we'll...
For sure, yeah. And I can't wait to show it off to you, Nick.
I know. I can't wait to see this unicorn that's laying in the bushes. It's going to be...
Exactly.
Oh, man, I love it. I appreciate you, and I'll let you get to your finish your lunch with your lady there. And
okay, buddy. I love you, brother. Take care.
I love you too, man.
Okay, bye.
Peace.
Thank you for listening to today's Tale from the Trench. Follow us on Instagram and message us for a customized coaching strategy call to successfully live your oil-filled lifestyle. You can earn a fulfilled life. Check back next week to continue listening.